Greetings, good people. Happy Monday. It is October 27th. The year is 2025, and it is Hot Topics time. Okay. Greetings, everyone. Welcome, everyone. If you are new here, welcome. My name is She Royal B. All right. And be sure to subscribe to the channel, ladies and gentlemen, if you're new here. All right. And make sure you click on the notification bell and select all so you don't miss out on any of the Hot Topics videos, reality TV videos, and everything in between. All right. So today's video is a Hot Topics video. All right. And Diddy is on the lineup. Tyler Perry is on the lineup, and so is Michael Blackson. All right. And what do these three have in common? They're today's Hot Topics. Ups. All right. As you're coming in, please hit the like button. That is you paying your admission fee. Be sure to drop down in the comments and share your thoughts. Share the video. Sharing is caring. Okay. And all that good stuff. So let's get straight into this Diddy debacle, this Diddy situation. All right. I don't know if you guys have heard, but Diddy's release date has been set. I find it interesting that we're finding this out now, considering that his release date is set for May 8th, 2028. We haven't even touched 2026 yet, and hopefully by the grace of God, we all do. Okay. But why are we finding out his release date so early? I think that he is going to continue, Diddy that is, and his legal team, they are going to continue to fight for him to be released sooner than that. I do think one of the stipulations of his release with most people is if they behave themselves, or like they'll get out early for good behavior. I don't know. I haven't navigated, been in, or associated with the prison system, okay, because I'm not ghetto like Diddy. So yeah, he probably will get out earlier for good behavior. Maybe, who knows? Who knows if the judge is going to make this difficult for him? I don't know, but he's trying everything, right? So according to online records from the Bureau of Prisons, the mogul is slated to be released on May 8th, 2028. As you all know, he was sentenced to 50 months for 2 counts of transportation to engage in prostitution. Keep in mind that he's been in custody since September of 2024. So the 2028 date reflects a time served and good behavior, of course. Okay. After release, Diddy will still be supervised for 5 years. This is crazy. He'll be required to refrain from substance use. He'll have drug tests taken, and he'll be required to attend meetings with his probation officer. This is all separate from conversations regarding Diddy asking Donald Trump for a pardon. There is still no firm update on that. Some people, this person commented, said he'll be out by this time next year. Mark my words. Someone else said, I'm sure he got some Vaseline to make the time go by. Mercy. Someone else said, who cares about Diddy? We all waiting to see if Stamps posts on Saturday. Okay. Because the government is still shut down. So people don't care about whether Diddy is getting out early, later, 2028, 2027, 2026. No one really cares, right? Someone says, well, it's almost 2026, so that's really not bad. Hopefully be out within 9, released to some type of program or halfway house. Somebody said my birthday is wild. So there's mixed reviews. There's some people who feel like Diddy shouldn't have been convicted for what he was convicted for. His legal team is still fighting hard for him, which is what they are paid to do, rightfully so. But I want to move on to another Diddy story. Okay, did you guys hear that somebody tried to shank Diddy? Who tried to shank Sean? Let me pull this up, y'all. I don't know if it's true. It could be all false to try to get him out of jail earlier. And I don't mean to laugh at his misfortune, but this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. Wait, so this is the same one? My bad. Hold on, y'all. Please take this time to like the video. Okay. I'm a one-man army today. Okay. My production has the day off. All right. My stage help has the day off. So somebody tried to shank Sean. Who did that? Do you guys believe this? Now, when I first saw this, I didn't believe it because there was a story while he was being held prior to his trial. Prior to his sentencing, excuse me. it was talks that he's being threatened and he needs to be separated and he's being mistreated and the food is terrible. I feel like it's just an attempt to try to get him out, was an attempt to try to get him out of jail, and also an attempt to get him to the facility of his choosing. So the neighborhood talks reported that Diddy almost got sliced behind bars, allegedly, according to his longtime friend. So Diddy allegedly woke up with a knife to his throat inside his Brooklyn jail cell at the Metropolitan Detention Center. So his friend says that he's not sure if Diddy fought the guy or if guards rushed in, but claims it was real. If that man wanted to take him up out of here, he would have. This is what the friend told the Daily Mail. It was more like a warning, intimidation. But Sean's from Harlem. That don't work on him. Okay, so Diddy has been locked up since September 2024 for his trafficking and racketeering, yada, yada, yada charges. And he was sentenced last month, yada, yada. We already know that. So Diddy's friend called Diddy unbreakable and says that he believes that the knife scare was a message to Diddy that next time he won't be so lucky. I don't know if I believe this. His legal team is not speaking up regarding this. This was a few days ago. I did see this, and I didn't laugh, but I chuckled, and I said, "Yeah, they're gonna do everything in their power to try to get him, out of jail. But you do the crime, you have to do the time, Sean. So whoever it is that's trying to slice Sean, you better watch your back. All right. I don't know. I don't think I'm buying the story. All right, moving along to foolishness news. Okay, so this week, Marvin Winans, okay, he embarrassed a foolish woman who decided to take $1,200 up to the altar because there was an altar call for seed for the church, some church fund, some church that he's trying to build, that the people say he's been trying to build this church and collecting funds for this church for many, many years, and they don't see anything, no groundbreaking. They don't even have a location. That's what the people said. I don't know. I'm not interested. But the reason why I say that this woman is foolish is because a lot of older women, or just a lot of women, period, I've come to see over the years of my life, right? Having been in church, Baptist churches, Seventh-day Adventist churches, Catholic churches. I see a lot of these type of churches that Mario Winans pimps from the pulpit. A lot of these women are so subservient to these male pastors, it's almost sickening. Okay. And they will do anything pastor say, they will do anything for pastor. Even if they are embarrassed and humiliated, they will defend pastor. Okay. Why am I bringing this up? Well, after that whole church debacle, when I tell you, I call this as soon as I saw this story drop. I said, yes, she gonna go right on Instagram. I said Instagram. They took it up a notch and they went to the local news station. I said she gonna go right on Instagram and say, "Oh no, 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 I'm not offended. The pastor didn't mean anything," because he was getting a lot of backlash. So instead of him standing firm and doing the right thing and correcting his own behavior, right? He had this woman sit up on this news station and pretty much say that no, she wasn't rebuked, and basically she was in error. So just take a look and a listen, child. Like to hear it go.
In that viral video,
Right.
He did not rebuke you.
He absolutely did not rebuke me. Now, there's a difference. There was a correction, because let me clearly state that Pastor gave instruction
You're the woman in that viral video.
on the lines to get into.
I was calling because the whole church was giving, and it was our day of giving, and the whole church was coming, and we didn't want people standing, the mothers and all that, so I was calling them by increments, and
On the lines to get into.
I corrected it, and I told everybody to listen and come when you call, and that's all that was.
Roberta told me Pastor Winans personally apologized to her. She's been a member of Perfecting Church since 2013.
I corrected it, and
All right, I'm not gonna play the video because the woman was a fool. He's a fool too, but I'm pretty sure the entire church knows how foolish he is. And this is the comment right here. I was literally about to say this. The abused always stand by the abuser. So sad. It's true. You know, I find that a lot of people, men and women alike, for some reason, they gravitate toward people who are abusive to them. They use abusive language, they use threatening language, and they find it funny, they find it comical, and they gravitate towards it. Listen, you run this man, he can run his church however he sees fit. I'm not a congregant of the church, never have, never will be. How he operates his church and how the parishioners choose to accept how he operates in his church is solely between them. But when I tell you, I promise you, I called it. I said that lady is gonna go on. I said Instagram and do damage control and make her pastor look good. Now, it's being reported that he personally apologized to her. Did he? It would have been nice if he publicly apologized to her. He could have. Again, he could have did it in front of the entire church. Who cares? If you are accepting of this type of behavior, then you get what you get what you get. You're accepting of it. And she did nothing but make an excuse for him. And adults, no one should talk. An adult should never talk to anyone, especially another adult, in this manner. Okay, you scolded her as if she was a child. You know, I didn't hear the man say thank you. I didn't hear the man show any gratitude. He showed frustration, like a greedy pimp. You know, that's not what I had said to you. So he can run his church however he chooses to run his church. He doesn't have to answer to any of us. Okay, he knows exactly who he has to answer to. And good luck explaining that, because it didn't make sense to us. So anyway, people believe and participate in what they choose to believe and participate in. Now, in the same vein, I find this very interesting. Tyler Perry, he is facing backlash because he donated $100,000 to Marvin Winans' church following the online criticism. So listen to what Marvin had to say.
It broke out Monday. We have received, one person called and he said, tell my name. He said, because I know God is in this. Tyler Perry said $100,000. Bishop Patrick Wooten, he said, I'm sowing and I have +1. So he and his son-in-law sent $2,000. We have received, I'll get all that over. But why don't you give God praise, folks? What the devil meant for evil, God turn it around.
So what the devil meant for evil, I guess people criticizing him.
Out Monday, we have
given faith and
received.
People who are criticizing him are the devils or the evil people, whatever. Some people are saying that Tyler Perry is doing this for press because his name is wrapped up in a whole bunch of scandal. Some people feel that Tyler Perry should have donated to food banks, considering, you know, the economic crisis that the world is experiencing at this time. I'm a firm believer in you do with your money whatever you want. You know, I'm not really a whole tell people what to do with their money type of girl. You do with your money, you sow your money wherever you want to sow it. But see, this type of behavior is interesting to me because he feels in this moment, by saying what the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for good, right? He's not remorseful, and he doesn't feel that he's done anything wrong. And of course, he's not going to feel that he's done anything wrong because he's being monetarily rewarded for his grotesque behavior. So this happens with a lot, you know, a lot of people, they exhibit these disgusting behaviors, you know, and there's always somebody or a group of people that will encourage their behavior by rewarding them with attention, with monetary compensation. So how the heck can he be remorseful and think that he, you know, needs to kind of repent for his behavior when somebody as famous and rich and wealthy as Tyler Perry is sending him $100,000 and then someone else is sending him double that? So you see, so this behavior is going to continue. He'll do this to another parishioner, and people will continue to be under the spell of this type of religious exploitation, if you ask me. Okay. So again, it's his church. He can run his church however he sees fit. Let's read some of these comments. People out here losing their government assistance, and you rather give Marvin Winans money to do what? He humiliated that woman, and from that, Tyler Perry was moved to give $100,000. Is giving Monique was right. No, don't try to say Monique was right now. Don't try to say Monique was right now. Religion is hilarious. I agree. That 100K could have went to families who need food for something, but I'm gonna mind my business. That 100K should have went to the lady that was humiliated. Meanwhile, half the congregation probably struggling to keep their lights on at home. Yep, very true. This is the epitome of the term endorsing behavior. Bingo. What did I just say? Exactly. You're encouraging this behavior. So he's, like I said, he's not going to think that he's done anything wrong. He was totally out of order and out of line for the way that he spoke to that woman in a church full of people. And it went viral because they were probably streaming this online, and everybody saw it. So he was out of order. The congregation is celebrating like they getting any. Exactly. And if they fall on hard times, 9 times out of 10, I don't know how his church operates, so I'm just assuming. If they fall on hard times, 9 times out of 10, they'll be pointed to some agency to get assistance. And I highly doubt that anybody, Marvin Winans, probably not going to reach down in his pickety pocket and give to anyone. But these institutions are upheld because people patronize these institutions. The people are the ones funding, along with the government, funding these institutions. So as long as the people are there and they're present, and you have people like Tyler Perry giving, there's nothing's going to change. Absolutely nothing is going to change. So good luck to them. Like I said, people can do with their money whatever they choose to. Okay. All right. Speaking of foolishness and drama, y'all, Michael Blackson, have you guys been paying attention to what's been going on with him and his fiancée, Rada? First of all, this is what I want to say about them. I recall them being on couples therapy. I want to say that they were on marriage boot camp, because I used to watch that and I used to review that back in the day. I don't know if they were on, I think they were on marriage boot camp. But anyway, I remember they were on couples therapy. Okay. And basically the foundation of their relationship was built on foolishness. Rada claims that they had an open relationship and she allows him to pretty much sleep with whoever he wants. She never, to my understanding, if memory serves me correct, she never wanted children. And then I remember on couples therapy, she used to be crying and sad and looking for sympathy because she didn't want to have an open relationship anymore, when that's the foundation that their relationship was built on. Right. And I think a lot of women like Rada, they do things like that to appease their man. And then it's like, okay, I let you have your fun. When are you going to stop doing what I had agreed that you could do, which is foolish. All right, so I say all that to say Michael Blackson has revealed that he had another son less than 2 months after his fiancée Rada gave birth. Says that the relationship with Rada is over. All right, so this is what he posted to social media. Good day to all my family, friends, and fans. The last few months, God has blessed me, but in blessing me came a lot of pain. 2 months after Rada gave birth to little Mikey, a female friend I've known for over 5 years also gave birth to my son, King Kweku Blackson. My 2 boys has brought so much joy to my life, but also caused me to lose my fiance, Rada. So the sons that you created, okay, by doing the grown-up, they caused you to lose your fiance? No account, zero accountability. It must be in some of these people's DNA to be totally against accountability. That's crazy. So Mikey, that's the baby that he has with Rada, was born Tuesday, June 17, 2025. And Kweku, that's the baby that he had with his friend of 5 years, was August 6, 2025. My apologies for waiting so long, but I didn't know how to do it. My older twin boys, who who he only pays child support for and doesn't have a relationship with, by the way. And Rada was privy to the fact that he did not have a relationship with his sons, and he talked negatively about his twin son's mother. Make sure y'all watch his Breakfast Club interview from a couple of weeks ago. He talks about it. So Rada was very well aware of the type of father that he wasn't. Where was I? August says, my apologies on waiting so long to do so. I didn't know how to do it. My older twin boys are now 18. Didn't find out till last night. My own mom didn't even know. I like kids, and I want to thank God for bringing me 2 more healthy boys. My apologies to Rada, and I hope she forgives me for the pain I've brought to her. I'm going to be the best loving father in the world. To avoid turning into Nick Cannon or Elon Musk, I'm only dating women that ran out of period or had a hysterectomy. Swipe and meet. Kwaku. Those are his sons. So this is Rada, she penned an apology to the son that she had with Michael Blackson. I'm just letting it all sink in before I say what I have to say. I really don't have much to say. So she writes, my beloved son, okay, this is to her baby. I want to begin by saying how deeply I love you. You are my greatest blessing, a light that has brought meaning and purpose into my life in ways I never imagined. But I also want to share something from my heart, something honest. I'm sorry for bringing you into a world and situation that wasn't what you deserved. Had I known the truth sooner, BS, I would have made different choices to ensure you were born into a more peaceful, loving, and stable environment. You deserve that from the very beginning. Even though I can't change the past, I promise you this. Now that you are here, I will do everything in my power to give you the life and love you deserve. I will fight for your happiness, your safety, and your sense of normalcy. I want you to grow up seeing and feeling what healthy love truly looks like. Love that is kind, respectful, patient, and whole. Then you shouldn't have had a baby with Michael Blackson, because from the very beginning, you knew what it was. To me, it seems like this was your plan all along to have a baby with him. FYI, y'all, they don't even live in the same house. Go watch that Breakfast Club interview. And it's funny because I was going to review that interview, but I'm like, do people really care about what Michael Blackson has to say? Probably not. And I had some points that I had written down, but I encourage you, go back and watch it. They don't live in the same house. This man has been doing him since they have gotten together. And she was well aware. She made it seem to the public that she was okay with an open relationship, but she would be crying on the show every episode about how many women he's sleeping with. She plays these games too. So you're responsible, like you're saying, for the environment that you brought your son into. They've been together for a long time, and they're not married, right? No, they're not married. The way he proposed to her was so disgusting and it was embarrassing. Anyway, she goes on to say, you will never have to question whether you are loved or wanted because you are both completely and unconditionally. My love for you is steady and unbreakable. You are my heart, my reason, and my hope for better days ahead. I love you. Whatever, girl. I see right through this. I see right through Rada. I just feel like I think that she wanted to have a baby with him to secure a bag. She makes it seem like she was madly in love with him. And well played, well played. So I feel like you got what you wanted. So let's see what some of the comments are saying. He told her years ago he wasn't monogamous and had no plans on it. She accepted it and even entered into threesomes with him. So where's the problem here? Exactly. Not ice, he's over here. That's mean. That just made me sick for his fiance. So you cheated on your fiance literally 2 months after she conceived? No, he didn't cheat on her. They are in a open relationship. And I forgot about that. She would enter into threesomes with him. She talked about it. Like I said, I know she talked about it on couples therapy. And I also want to remind everybody that Love and Hip Hop Miami is scheduled to return November 4th, and they're supposed to be on Love and Hip Hop Miami. All right. So let's go to the next slide, still in the vein of Michael Blackson. All right. So she responds to his posts about him saying how he lost his fiancée. He never planned on marrying her. Never. He jokes about it, but he seems serious to me. She's allowed herself to be embarrassed by him, and I think that she finally got exactly what she wanted, and is to have a baby to secure a bag because he takes care of her financially. You know, she says it, he says it. So Rada responds after Michael Blackson reveals that he welcomed a child outside of their relationship. That was the most pathetic post or apology ever. Okay. So she says, I don't normally respond, but let's just agree that was the most pathetic post or apology ever. I'm walking in peace, guided by God's grace. My energy belongs to my 4-month-old son, not to negativity. People always tell me that they are embarrassed for me or it's getting embarrassing at this point. But for me, when love runs that deep, you stop seeing the man and start seeing the boy who just wanted to be loved. And that's what breaks you. I didn't just love, I understood the pain, the innocence, the child in him. Now he's a child. Now you're reducing him to infantile behavior. But how long did you stay with him? Okay? Well, you had to practically beg him to propose to you. Knock it off. With that said, I take full accountability for staying in the circus too long. His type was never me because I'm a real woman. This is what happens when you hold a man down 100%. I think that it's safe to say that everybody knew that you were, everybody assumes, or people assume, maybe it's just me. I assume that you were with this man because of the financial gain. You weren't deeply, madly in love with this man. I could be totally wrong, but that's just my perception. It makes me wonder, if Michael Blackson wasn't as financially secure as he was, would you even look in his direction? Right? You were willing to tolerate this man sleeping with and having relationships with, housing, taking care of other women in the midst of your relationship. How is that a relationship? It's an open relationship, you say, right? But then you wanted to change the terms of the relationship. Why? Because that's not truly what you wanted. You did that to please him. And I think she said that. So you entered into the relationship under false pretenses. You didn't really want to open your relationship up, but you did that to appease him so that you can get him to stay with him, to take care of you. So I feel like, I don't know, I just feel like she knew exactly what she was doing, and she is leaving the relationship with a baby. And he's going to pay child support. You know, he pays child support for he was paying child support for his twin sons. Like I said, if you watch his Breakfast Club interview and listen to what he had to say, he said at one point, Rada was communicating with with his twins' mother. Why? So you knew exactly what type of father he wasn't. So, I mean, cry me a river. It's her accountability and not bashing out of her. She good. God got her. Pff, please. He definitely not sorry. It gave, I regret to inform you. They comedians at your own risk. They will joke about anything. Can't believe it's women out here letting Michael Blackson do them in. Shaking my head. Mentioning Nick Cannon and Elon Musk at the end of this fake apology is diabolical. I mean, if you're gonna bash Michael Blackson, then she should get bashed too. I think that she had a hidden agenda. I absolutely positively do. And if I'm not mistaken, I think that they tried to have a baby before and she miscarried. Maybe I'm getting her mixed up with another couple. But yeah, I think Rada knew exactly what she was doing. And now she about to move on. And now Michael Blackson about to pay. And he will pay. He listen, they say it ain't tricking if you got it, right? And he'll drop a bag on a woman. He's done it before and he's been open about that. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's episode of Hot Topics. Drop down in the comments section and let me know what you think. If you haven't done so already, please like the video. If you are new here and you want to join our conversations, you want to join our royal family, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell and select all so that you don't miss out on any of the uploads. All right. All right, y'all. I'm signing off. I love you for watching. And as always, I will talk to you later.